Hello, welcome to another HubSpot video with Lucidity. In this video, we're going to be focusing on how to save time by automatically generating a quote within HubSpot. So no longer needing to click all those clicks to get a quote generated. So a quick brief of who we are. Lucidity, we are a HubSpot Platinum partner based in Sydney, Australia. What we do is we help businesses to be able to set up HubSpot from scratch, to be able to optimize their current HubSpot portal, and we provide HubSpot training as well as integration with other systems. So if you want to integrate with HubSpot with all of your other tools, or to make sure all of the data is managed in one spot, that's what we do. So let's dive in and have a look at HubSpot setup. What I'm going to do is going to show you how we would traditionally create a quote in HubSpot, and then how to save time by automatically doing it with just a single click of a button. Let's dive in and have a look. So what I've got here is a HubSpot deal in our live HubSpot portal this time. Usually I demo in our demo system, but I'm doing the live system now. So what we normally do is we've got a deal, we've got some line items, we've got at least a company attached, and we've got a contact attached to the deal. What we want to do is say the person has given us the green light to send a quote across. Now, as a little red herring, you can also use this if you want to auto-generate, say, proposals straight out of HubSpot. There's some cool ways to do that. If you want to generate any sort of document out of HubSpot, and you can also include an e-signature and take payment if you want, this is the way to do it. So on the right-hand side here, the way we would typically do it is we would go ahead and click this Create Quote button. We then get a screen that pops up, which takes us through step by step to create a quote. Now, I love HubSpot. This is something we get feedback from a lot. It's just like, I know which template I want. Can't I just click Create Quote and it creates a quote for me? Now, currently what we've got to do is click on Next, Next, Next to get the quote generated. So I'll click Next. It's now going to ask me who the sender is, who the company is. Then I click Next, and then it's going to confirm which line items I've got directly from the deal. Now I can alter this. Most people, if the line item is sitting in the deal, then that's an exact reflection of what's going to show up in the quote. Then click Next. Then we can opt in for a signature if we want to. This is the point at which, even with the automation, we can switch this on so that it always requires a signature. You can have a written signature or no signature. We can also switch this on so it can accept online payments. So if you're quoting template like ours, we don't have any signature in it. So what we would typically do is whatever is in the deal ends up being in the quote. So let's keep clicking Next and let's see what we get to. So this last bit is where we get to the template that we're going to be using. I'm going to switch this over to our normal quote template. Now this is the old 2023 version of our quote template, but it shows you how we can use it for HubSpot. And then we would click Next, and then it would actually go ahead and generate the quote for us. So it gives us a preview, and then we click Create. Now, if you're the sort of person that you need to have a high level of refinement in the quote and you're generating, this step-by-step wizard is fantastic. If you just want to click a button and say generate the quote based on what's currently in the deal, it's a lot of clicks, especially if you're sending out a few quotes every week. So I'll show you how we do it with the automation. All right, so I'm back in the deal now. And what I'm going to do is on the left-hand side is I'm going to select this auto gen quote drop down. So I simply go here, I click yes, and I'll wait a few seconds, and the system, the back-end system, the automation, will go ahead and generate the quote for me. So I'm going to refresh the whole screen, and I'll show you what happens once we've generated the quote. All right, so I've waited a few seconds, I've refreshed my screen, and what's happened now in HubSpot is that I've now got a quote that's been generated. So on the left-hand side here, I've got this section, which is the quote details. We can version the quotes if you prefer to have that. One reason we do this is that if you would expect a bit of back and forth on the quotes, say someone wants to adjust a discount or add a line item, remove a line item, then you probably end up with multiple versions of a quote, and therefore on the right hand side here it can get a bit hard to find out which version of the quote is the one that is the latest version or a previous version, so we just have something here that shows that for you. So this is the quote version. And then we've also, what the automation does is it adds the quote download link just here, and that's the latest version of the quote. So if we go ahead and click that, that's our latest version of the quote sitting in the system. On the right hand side, for those of you who've got keen eyes, it also shows in the right hand side here. So if I wanted to, I could make an adjustment, say adjust a line item, then all I've got to do is click this back to yes, and it'll automatically generate the quote for me. As soon as it's finished, that goes back to no, and that's my indicator that the quote has been generated. Yes, for those of you who are thinking forward, we can add automations where it would send us an email or a HubSpot notification to say your quote's been created, so we can get more fancy with this. The main point of this demonstration is to help you understand that if you've got certain parts of HubSpot where you're clicking a lot of buttons and it's say syncing with other systems in a back end, there's something that we can help you with where it'll automate that for you. Now, we go into a lot more details of this in our other N8N videos. To give you a quick sneak peek of what this is all about, we use an automation system called N8N. So N8N, it's similar to if you've used Zapier before, Zapier, however you pronounce it, or if you have used something like Make, it's very, very similar, where you have systems that you can connect to. So I can just add something here. If I wanted to say connect to Xero, I can connect HubSpot to Xero. A classic is that when a deal is moved to a certain stage in your sales pipeline, then you want it to automatically generate an invoice for you based on the line items that are in Xero. So if you get the picture, this allows you to do is allows you to connect any system to any other system that has either an API or has something that connects to N8N already. HubSpot luckily has done a lot of work, and they've opened up the doors to be able to use N8N. The whole point of this is that we can run this thing called a webhook. So you create a key, you create a webhook, you tell the webhook what happens and where to go once it's triggered. In our case, the trigger is selecting this to yes, or changing this property will automatically fire this webhook here. It goes through all these things here, it gets all the details from HubSpot, checks that it's got line items. If it doesn't, it flicks you a message to say, hey, you're trying to create a quote without line items, maybe go back ahead and check it, with a link to the quote, to the deal, so you can just quickly click on it and add the line item. It then formats everything in the way it's supposed to. It then talks to HubSpot and says, generate me a quote, and then it updates the deal to say, here's all the details of the quote. So that's what the N8N system does. Now, without getting into too much detail, hopefully this gives you a little bit of an idea of some areas of HubSpot that can be improved or optimized with a system like N8N or Zapier or Make or an API system. The whole point of today is that this took probably about 5 minutes to set up for us because we're experts in this system. If this is something you're interested in, or if there's areas of HubSpot you'd love to optimize, we'd love to have a chat. What we do find is that we work with a lot of businesses who have HubSpot, who some of them are even looking at it going, why are we paying for this system? After about 2 or 3 months of working with us, then there's those aha moments where they're like, oh, now I'm seeing the power of HubSpot. Their team's happier because they know how to use the system properly. Their sales team is way more efficient. Their marketing team is saying hallelujah, thank you so much. And the customer service team is working really efficiently, so they're not wasting time anymore. So if that's something you're interested in, please get in contact with us and book in an appointment to look at your HubSpot. We can help you understand if your HubSpot's already optimized or whether there's areas that you can improve on. As always, thank you for watching this video. Hopefully that was helpful, and I'll see you in our next video. Thanks again. See you next time.